radio show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.
Greetings, blessings, and good fortune, everybody. It's another Thursday. I really like Thursdays. I get to see my friends, hang out with you guys. Well, today is a very interesting day. For the ones that don't come in real early to the broadcast, we are on 97.7 KCYP, The City, FM here in McAllen. We're streaming, we are broadcasting from the McAllen Creative Incubator. We're also on a couple apps. One's called Radio Garden, and the other is TuneIn Radio. We were going out on YouTube. We're going out on Facebook, okay? We're going out in a lot of different places, but I'm glad to be here with you. Glad to be here. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Now, let me fiddle with my technology here. Make sure we are going in, and I can see all of the comments on both the Christopher Ott feed and the Bitcoin Otter feed. So hopefully we'll have all of those up, and I can see Matt. Good to see you, Matt. Sue, good to see you. Dad, if you're watching, love you, Dad. So on the Bitcoin Otter one here, we don't have anybody up yet, but okay. And you'll dig this, Matt. Yes, Matt. I'm going to get into that. Patel confirmed the Bitcoin Otter show and USA versus Canada. It doesn't get any better. Absolutely. This is the last hockey tournament I went to. It was in Houston, but I wore this today because it has the American and the Canadian flag, and it was a Memorial Day tournament that we went to. A bunch of us from McAllen here. Marcos, good to see you. Bunch of us from McAllen went to Houston, and we played there. It was fun. It was a blast, but that's why I'm wearing the shirt. Right after the show, ladies and gents, right after tonight's show will be the game. I'll probably rush home to see it on the big screen, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be fun to watch. Probably not since like the Olympics would it be, so much fun because of this rivalry now. If you're new to hockey, if you're new to what it is we're doing tonight, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that the Canadians win this tournament game. These are NHL players. First of all, let me set the tone. These are NHL players. These are all professional, the best of the best in the world, right? But what the NHL did, which it's kind of like the All-Star game in baseball, the Pro Bowl in football, things like that. But what they did was they decided to make a 4-nation tourney. So they made a tournament, and they chose 4 nations: the United States, Canada, Finland, and Sweden. Okay. And they took NHL players from these individual nations, and they made a team based on, they're NHL players, but they correspond to the countries that they grew up in, that they're nationals of. So the Americans play against the Canadians and the Finns against, so et cetera. Well, when Team USA went to Montreal, Canada to have the game for this tournament, when the American national anthem came on, they booed it. The Canadians booed it. So, that got the U.S. guys worked up. There were 3 fights in the first 9 seconds, right? 2 of them were from the Kachuk brothers. So these 2 brothers, American brothers, their dad was in the league also, and they took the whooping up on some Canadians. It was amazing. Hockey is the best, ladies and gents. I know everybody's partial to football around here, but the fact of the matter is, if you grew up playing hockey, you would know what I'm talking about. Even if you watch it, you're just not able to do the things, mainly fighting, right, in other sports that you could do in hockey. It's expected in hockey. Okay, there's this enforcer mentality that these big guys have. They used to call them goons too, right? But you've got these skill players that are very important to the team. And if the other team messes with these skill players, it's incumbent upon the enforcer to go out there the next shift, or if he's out there on the ice, to mix it up with the guy that messed up their skill player. So just a little hockey 101 for you. So hopefully after the show, you guys will be able to tune into the hockey game tonight. Now, getting to our economic barometer info, Bitcoin was at $98,000, okay, when I left the house today, más o menos. Silver, $33.17 per ounce. And gold, ladies and gentlemen, it's really close to $3,000, $2,950 today. Sue says it's only a two-tooth minimum. And it's a two-tooth minimum. What do you mean, for hockey? Yeah, well, I mean, you can imagine, right? These pucks fly around. They're made of hard rubber. It'll take your tooth out. If you get it close up, you can see my teeth. I have my front tooth chipped from a hockey puck and a beer bottle. And you might say, what a glorious life the Otter led. Yeah, you'd be right. Anyway, average mortgage rate, 30-year rate is 6.93. It's going down a little bit, but man, it's still going to be tough. If you got to buy a house, you got to buy a house. But if you don't, maybe wait. 15-year rate, not much better, 6.23% for that the crooked mortgage system. Here's something for you. Bitcoin news. Pro-Bitcoin Howard Lutnick confirmed as U.S. Commerce Secretary. Oh, and do we have some more confirmation information coming for you soon? Matt, you already hit on it. That is awesome. What a great day, right? Anyway, Mr. Howard Lutnick, he's a billionaire, right? A well-known Bitcoin supporter and former CEO of financial services firm Cantor Fitzgerald, has been confirmed as the new U.S. Secretary of Commerce. This is out of Bitcoin News again. 51 to 45 vote. Lutnick has been a Bitcoin advocate for years, and under his leadership, Cantor Fitzgerald managed Tether. If you know what Tether is, it's a coin that mirrors the value of the U.S. dollar. U.S. Treasury reserves and launched a $2 billion Bitcoin financing program. Did Mr. Lutnick? So he's not a stranger to Bitcoin, that's for sure. Jerry, good to see you, Jerry. Good to see you on. So, Jerry, you're no stranger to hockey, so that's why I'm wearing this today. We're going to see a good game after this. Zero Hedge. The Elon Musk-led Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, to you and me, on Monday revealed its findings that $4.7 trillion, this is with a T, $4.7 trillion in disbursements by the U.S. Treasury are almost, I'm doing air quotes if you're in the car, almost impossible to trace, thanks to a rampant disregard for the basic accounting practice of using and tracking codes when dishing out money. Mind you, it's not as if such a federal tracking system wasn't already in place. It simply went casually unused for all sorts of payouts, adding up to an almost unfathomable $4.7 trillion. Without Treasury Access Symbol, TAS, identification codes associated with those payouts, there's little hope in figuring out where all that money went. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've seen it. We have been inundated by liberal tears. You see, there are people that are screaming about Elon Musk knowing their social security number because he's in the social security weeds also. So $4.7 trillion is not chump change. $4.7 trillion is over double what Rumsfeld. Okay, do you remember September 10, 2001? No, nobody remembers September 10, 2001. Everybody remembers September 11. It's ingrained in our mind. What you may not know is, on September 10th, Donald Rumsfeld, one of the biggest criminals in the world, worked for the Bush crime family, right? This guy comes out on September 10, because he knew September 11 was going to happen, and says, $2 trillion are missing, ladies and gentlemen of America. Your tax dollars. And we can't find them. Pentagon lost it. $2 trillion. Now, this $4.7 trillion, ladies and gentlemen, the Department of Government Efficiency, led by Mr. Elon Musk, has unearthed a loss of $4.7 trillion. I've got another story a little bit later we're going to talk about, and we even have a video of an interview with Kevin O'Leary, and you're going to see in this video that Elon Musk is tearing it up, and it's a great thing to watch. But we'll get to that in a little bit. This also is from Zero Hedge. Hochul, that, witch from New York, Hochul scrambles to oust Adams, the New York City mayor, after New York City mayor starts working with Donald Trump. Isn't that just terrible that the mayor of New York would work with Donald Trump? Isn't that treasonous to work for the president of the United States if that president is not one of their puppets? So it says, kind of like a subtitle here, if a Democrat in power jumps off the Democrat plantation, they better watch their back. You better believe it. They don't care. And, the mayor of New York is black. Mr. Adams is a black man. They don't care if you're black. They don't care if you're gay. They don't care if you're any of those special categories that, traditionally the liberals want to promote. Oh, no. No. All you have to do is work with Donald Trump. And it doesn't matter. All of those, classifications that they LGBTQF947, they don't care. They don't care. If you go off of the plantation, if you march to your own tune, they're coming for you. They're going to get you. Okay, as Chuck Schumer said one time, the three-letter agencies have 6 ways to Sunday, said he, to get you. Case in point, New York Mayor Eric Adams, who earned himself an FBI raid by the Biden DOJ after he began speaking out about illegal immigration wrecking the Big Apple. See, he dared to say, hey, wait a minute. We're housing illegal, well, he didn't use this term, but they're illegal immigrants in 4-star hotels. We've got homeless vets on the street. See, that's something the mainstream media doesn't care about, so it's not going to be covered. The veterans that risked their life or lost limbs or both, they're there on the street. They don't have a home, yet somebody from a different country, well, they can have all the rights they want because they were invited. Fast forward to Trump winning the 2024 election, and Adams has pledged to work with the new administration on their efforts to round up and deport illegals. All right. While the Trump DOJ has moved to dismiss Biden's obvious lawfare against him. So, since the Biden lawfare is going to be dismissed, well, Hochul's going to, take up the torch and try to put it in a place that Mr. Adams does not like. So that's what they do on the plantation, that Democrat plantation. Education department cuts $600 million from ideological training programs for teachers. So there's another Doge project, right? Education department. Why do we need it at the federal level? Do we need it No, we don't need it at the federal level. Just like Mr. Milei says, the Argentinian. Give us that. Juan's behind the camera today. Give it to us. Give us one.
Afuera!
Afuera! Thank you, Juan. So I'll get to another interesting thing in a little bit. So the education department cut $600 million from ideological training. The grants had been awarded to teachers preparation programs, okay, that train future educators in what the department said were inappropriate and unnecessary topics, such as critical race theory, okay, which promotes the fundamental framework view that racism is embedded in all institutions and all aspects of society. Diversity, equity, and inclusion and social justice activism. All those things were cut. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost getting to the point where we are almost tired of winning every day. It seems like something logical, something positive is done every day. They're moving fast. They're moving fast, ladies and gentlemen. And as we'll get into a little bit later, and some of you know exactly what I'm referring to, but the hunters have become the hunted. So when those people would kick down your door for, let's say, wanting to go to church during COVID or whatever, those are the hunters. They hunt law-abiding citizens. They hunted down those people that walked through the velvet ropes at the Capitol on January 6th. They followed them. They hunted them down. They kicked in doors, threw in flashbangs, all that stuff, man. All that stuff. Arrested people in front of their kids. Put them in solitary confinement. Did the hunters. Well, you know what's happening now? The hunters they've become the hunted. Because real law is being enforced now. Not just their whims, their capricious whims. So, some of the defunded programs also included a race-based teacher recruitment and staffing strategies, according to the department. Yeah, we don't need that. Do you remember there was this very interesting man named Martin Luther King, and he once said that he would rather see people judged by the content of their character as opposed to the color of their skin. But that's just not what happens anymore. But that's changing. Sue, New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced Thursday she won't use her executive power to remove embattled New York City Mayor Eric Adams from office. Esme, good to see you. So, yeah, I guess Governor Hochul was actually going to remove Mayor Adams. So someone in New York, and I don't believe that anyone in New York is elected, by the way. They're installed. So supposedly, if New York wasn't as crooked as it is, Eric Adams would have won a fair election, and he would have been elected to the position. So, in theory, the governor, the state so-called elected official in New York, was going to use her office to remove an elected official, Adams. So what that says to me is it is a subversion of the will of the people. So where I'm going with this is this. If the people came together and elected a person to represent them, and then another person removed that person, in this case, Mayor Adams, that would be a direct, almost as direct as not letting RFK Jr. run for the nomination on the Democrat side. Or they Bernie Sanders Bernie. So they Bernie. Remember that? So all kinds of hijinks ensue. Sue says it's also a win for President Donald Trump, who will retain a political ally. So critics say Adams is under Trump's thumb at a time when the White House is moving aggressively to crack down on migrants. Thanks for the link. Oh, it's an NPR link. Yeah. Anyway, what happened with NPR? Something happened with NPR. I'm losing it. Oh, that washed up singer Sheryl Crow sold her Tesla because Elon Musk's bad. He's uncovering all kinds of corruption. Elon Musk must be bad, so let's sell the car that I bought from his company, says Ms. Crow, right? So then she turns around and she donated whatever she got from the Tesla she sold to NPR. Whatever. You do whatever you want, Cheryl. Just, thank you for being you. You just, whatever. So, NPR, huh, Sue? Jeepers. I am honored. Here we go, Matt. Kash Patel vows to rebuild FBI, hunt down bad guys in every corner of this planet. Man, that's awesome. That is awesome. So the FBI has a storied legacy. This is Mr. Kash Patel, our new FBI director. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be glorious. Oh, man, this is going to be amazing. What a lineup we have, ladies and gentlemen. What a lineup. Kash Patel, if you don't remember, if you don't follow these things, Kash Patel was one of the Trump staffers that the, how would you call them? The intel community, okay, is a very, very nice term for them. Too nice, actually. That the intel community tracked down, hunted, okay, but remember the hunters are now the hunted. Hunted down Kash Patel, persecuted Kash Patel. Sue says this goes back to our previous conversation about media bias. Yes, sir. Barry, good to see you're on. Media bias. Yes, it does. So this Kash Patel guy he was on the wrong end of the FISA thing. So if you remember, the FISA court is a court that is outside of the Constitution. In my opinion, it's an extra constitutional apparatus that, and I say this because they don't have to show you, there's no discovery, meaning they don't have to show you the evidence they have. The FISA court doesn't have to show you the evidence they have against you. It's really crazy. It also, there's something about habeas corpus that it doesn't abide by. And it's veiled in secrecy, and it's really not constitutional. But this FISA apparatus was used to spy on Donald Trump. It was the Obama administration was doing it, right? So they were spying on Trump, both as a candidate and then as a sitting president. It's dirty, but completely expected by the usual suspects, right? So Kash Patel says here, the FBI has a storied legacy from the G-men to safeguarding our nation in the wake of 9/11. The American people deserve an FBI that is transparent, accountable, and committed to justice. The politicization of our justice system has eroded public trust, but that ends today, said Kash Patel. My mission as director is clear. Let good cops be cops and rebuild trust in the FBI. This was on X, so he posted this on X also. And he added, and to those who seek harm to Americans, consider this your warning. We will hunt you down in every corner of this planet. Democrats, meanwhile, are positively spooked. Ooh, I wonder why that would be. I wonder. Ooh, boy. The hunters have become the hunted. Trump's goal is to abolish the IRS as layoffs loom. This is, again, Mr. Lutnick, okay? This is from Zero Hedge. Ladies and gentlemen, like I told you before, you may or may not have believed me, we're going to have a golden age here in America. What is going on in this country is a transformation from evil to good. Well, what do you mean, Otter? We're an evil nation? Well, let's just say that our nation has done a lot of evil worldwide and domestically. And it's not so much that it's me, it's you, average American, Joe Sixpack. It is the people that have usurped our constitutional method of elections. They have been installed by a cabal, an international syndicate of crime. Now, still, people don't believe this. They don't believe that there is a deep state or a Khazarian mafia, if you will. They don't believe this because, well, they can't see it. And they can't see it because there's this bias thing going on. They believe what they were taught in school. They believe what they see on television. And they just don't buy the fact that there is an extra-governmental apparatus that operates worldwide, a criminal syndicate, international in scope, that tries to decide all the way down to your house what kind of stove you have. In fact, you guys in New York know this very well because Hochul, the witch, outlawed at the behest of international think tanks that are trying this Green New scam out, which is not new at all, they are banning gas stoves. Can't have a gas stove anymore. Can't even sell them in New York, right? So they're going all the way down to your kitchen appliances because they want to control you. They hate you. So when we talk about the transformation, this is part of it. The headline is lumps. I'm reading Trump and then Lutnick is beneath it. Trump's goal is to abolish the IRS as layoffs loom. Lutnick. Think about it. Donald Trump announces the External Revenue Service, and his goal is very simple. His goal is to abolish the Internal Revenue Service and let all the outsiders pay. Lutnick told Fox News host Jesse Waters. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to reiterate something here that's not obvious to everyone. The world needs us more than we need it. Now, we have to have a world to live in, right? But as Americans, our biblical values, upon which our Constitution and other founding documents were written, guarantee that we have at the very least a good foundation. Now, that has gone sideways, ugly in many different ways since then, as the nations, God's chosen nations, did in the Bible. It happened to us. We went astray. But I believe personally that this is my belief, that God's Spirit is working in many ways and in many parts of the world, not just here in America. Don't get me wrong. But the fact is, we are changing for the better. I know we're going to have complaints. I know we're going to have liberal tears. Communists over the whole world will cry, but we're going to win. Sue says, what's your take on the center? The center of what? Media bias. I'm not catching exactly what you're meaning. Give me an example I can look at, Sue. The center. What's your take on the center? I'll get to whatever you put up, Sue. I'll get to that. Please explain a little bit further. But let me go to this next headline here. Tournament. Tensions mount as U.S.-Canada hockey rivalry mixes in politics. The rivalry has lacked intensity of late since the last time NHL players had an international best-on-best games was 2016 World Cup hockey in Toronto. Team USA played Canada in the 2022 and 2018 Winter Olympics, but NHL players didn't participate. Why are Canadians disrespecting the U.S. anthem? It's most likely due to President Donald Trump, who, in the early days of his second presidency, threatened Canada with tariffs and expressed his desire to make Canada the 51st state. Yes, he did troll Canada, ladies and gentlemen. He did. So what's this 51st state thing all about? Let me explain. Julian, good to see you. Good to see you on, Julian. Let me explain this 51st state thing, but after we do a little station identification. You're listening to us, if you're here in McAllen, and listening to the FM radio, 97.7 KCYP, the city, out of McAllen, Texas. We are broadcasting from the McAllen Creative Incubator. Artsy, fartsy, and great. Well, when I get here, I guess it gets fartsy. Otherwise, it's just artsy. Then we are on YouTube. We're on Facebook. There's 2 very cool radio apps where you could listen to radio stations all over the world. TuneIn Radio and Radio Garden. That's where we're coming out from today. Thank you for watching. Or if this is in the future and you're just riding around listening to it, that's where we're coming from. So the 51st state thing, what is that? Corinne, oh, Johnny Isaiah. Hi, how you doing? My grandkids. Love yous. So what happened with that was Trump is a master of narrative. Let me explain this for those of you who may unfortunately think our president is anything less than brilliant. He works on different levels when he speaks. So there are more than a few nuances to his speech, to his tone. Sometimes the words are very, very important, and not always the loud ones. But what he's trying to accomplish with this 51st state thing is, ironically, he is addressing the Canadians themselves. How do I mean that? Well, sure, a sovereign country, a citizenry of one country is going to chafe when the president of another country tells them, hey, you can be one of ours, a state, a vassal, if you will. And yes, they're going to take exception to that. But what else arises out of that? What arises is that they are now conscious of the fact that they're Canadians. I mean, that's in the sense of, I guess, nationality. That's their identity, right? So what they really are saying is that, hey, we're Canadians. And it's a pride that rightfully comes up and wells up in their hearts, right? So they might start to wonder, why is it that this Trump guy would say, hey, you can be our 51st state? Well, when they start to question things, now the wheels are moving. Now they're like, wait a minute. How is it that we went this far to one side? Politically speaking, they went left, right? How is it we went this far that we have other people in other nations, trolling us like this? And then what happens is they speak truth to power, because the man who was installed, Trudeau, the man who was installed as the president of Canada, or the prime minister of Canada, he doesn't do anything for Canada because he hates Canada. Just like our presidents, former to Donald Trump, hated America. They tore us up again and again. So what Trump is doing, and he's winning, of course, the Canadian people are now making statements to their government that, hey, wait a minute, we don't want to be Americans, but you know what? This brand of Canada isn't working for us either. So he's actually fomenting dissent in another nation. Now, you might say, oh, that's bad. That's bad. A nation's leader shouldn't do that. Well, when you're working for freedom, I think, talking truth to power is a good thing. Maybe those Canadians will wake up faster this way. I hope so. Sue says, BBC, Forbes, The Hill, Reuters, The Wall Street Journal are considered centered in biased news. Wow. That is insane. Those are considered centered? There's no way. I don't see that. I have checked, once in a while, I'll pull a quote from one of them or whatever, but to me, they're all in lockstep. That's just my view. Other people might have a different take on it, but Julian says French Canadians and Old English Canadians. Yes. And I think what you're referring to is that their pride is stoked, which is, again, part of the impetus for Trump's trolling. Okay. A purpose, just like Greenland. Same thing. What did he do? What did he do when he trolled Greenland? Hey, I want to buy Greenland. Well, at first it sounds ludicrous, audacious, egotistical. But then when you examine the purpose of this or the result, what is it? Well, he brought to light something that most of us have never even thought about. That Denmark, this tiny little country in Europe, controls Greenland. Not only did he highlight that, he highlighted the fact, he highlighted the fact that China's moving in. China is moving into Greenland. Man, that's our territory. Maybe not. It's our neighbor, right? Más o menos. Kind of. The map. You look at the map, right? They're close. Closer than China. So when we see these things, and all this was brought up because Trump decided to say something, to troll Greenland. As it turns out, What did it do? It made them happy to be Greenlanders. And they want to be independent now. They don't want to be Americans, but they don't want Denmark to control them either. This is what I'm saying. Okay? This is Donald Trump doing Trump things. He makes a splash in the media. They whine about it and cry. They scream how ludicrous it is. And we learn from the experience. We watch, we observe, and we learn. We just have to sit back and enjoy it. So Julian says the French Canadians wanted to secede in the past already. Yeah, Quebec. Yeah, the whole province of Quebec would rather be the country of Quebec as opposed to a province. Yeah, and I'm not really well versed in that, and I'm not saying that that's that's exactly the reason. But yeah, they wanted to. They don't appreciate being under that yoke, if you will. So this is from the Gateway Pundit. Representative Jasmine Crockett, she's here in Texas, ladies and gents. I'm sorry for that. Blames Trump's popularity on Americans being uneducated. People don't understand. Yes, she said this. In an appearance on Wednesday's edition of The View. Joe, we really got to get that spittoon. I need to clear this on my mouth, that just saying that show, The View. Yeah. Anyway, the Texas Democrat was asked by Alyssa Farah Griffin why Trump's policies were commanding overwhelming support among the American people. Crockett's answer? People are just not sufficiently educated. You know what? This tracks, ladies and gentlemen. This tracks. What does it track with? My theory. My statement that I've said many times before. Education is not what we think it is here in the United States. See, in education, we'll teach someone, be they young or old, what occurred in history, what mathematics can solve, how to speak a language, any language. That's what education can do. But what we do in this nation today is not education. It's indoctrination. Yes, I do believe this. So someone who comes out of an institution of what they call higher learning is going to be different. In some ways educated, sure. Yeah, perhaps even edified. But what we get today, I guess as a product, an outworking of this system, is someone who has the narrative firmly placed in their mind, and almost exclusively to any other narrative out there, any other position, viewpoint, zeitgeist, if you will. Okay? So what's going on with this person here? She is saying that she's better than you. If you like Donald Trump, she's better than you because she's educated. So Griffin, he right now has a 53% approval rating. It's higher than it's ever been. 70% of people believe that he's fulfilling his promises. And 45% believe Democrats should be more moderate. If these statistics are true, well then, this is one of the things that Donald Trump is another thing that he's succeeding at. I think there's a lot to make of those numbers. What's your takeaway from that? So this Crockett woman, again, a Texas Democrat, my takeaway, it's just like the election. We've got to do it better at education. People don't understand. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We understand. We understand very well. So we're not buying that anymore. Remember in the beginning, if you guys have been watching or listening, I told you we had a video. So we're going to play a video in a minute, and it's going to be with Kevin O'Leary, and he's going to talk about Doge. Juan, do we have that? Is that ready to pull up?
Let me see my friend.
All right. While he's working on that, I want to tell you about a gift that Javier Milei, the president of Argentina, okay? What did he give? Well, he gave a chainsaw. Who did he give it to? Elon Musk. He gave a chainsaw to Elon Musk because he's going to chop it up. He's going to chop up all that mess in our government. Remember earlier, just a few minutes ago, $4.7 trillion are gone. Interesting, huh? Juan, let me know when we're ready.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
No, not yet.
All right. Jody, good to see you, Jody. So, Javier Milei gives Elon Musk a chainsaw because it's going to go. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. So then we got these are from X, right? So we also have Dan Scavino. He is Donald Trump's and has been through all three of Donald Trump's administrations, terms, if you will. Congratulations to the new director of the FBI, Kash Patel. That's from Dan Scavino. And Ian Yeager. Breaking. Pete Hegseth has just officially evicted CNN from the Pentagon. Ha ha! Afuera!
Fuera.
Are we gonna see that video?
You want the video adentro?
Yeah, just go ahead and play that video, everybody. It's gonna touch on Doge. So
Kevin, what do you make of what President Trump, Elon Musk, and Doge have managed to not just uncover, but claw back and stop in just a matter of weeks?
This is wildly popular because we have a unique situation. You've got Elon Musk with his own international broadcast network. He can publish anything he wants on it any time. He goes into these agencies, 48 hours later, puts a list of crazy stuff like you just detailed. People see it all through the U.S. and around the world and say, this is nuts. And it just fuels what else is out there. So what's happening here has never happened before. He could only do this with the power of the executive behind him because all of the people that are managing these mandates and these programs are being embarrassed by this. Whether you just got the job or whether you were there in the Biden administration, Elon doesn't care who you are. He just publishes it anyways, and then it's all over your face. There's a lot of tension going on here with the management of these programs, and particularly when we start talking with the FAA and the Pentagon. I mean, oh, baby, wait till that one comes out, because that is always going to be a black hole saying, well, it's for defense, and I can't tell you what it's for. But now there's accountability. There's so much fat dripping off these chickens.
all right. So that was cool. This is the best barbecue I've ever seen, said Mr. O'Leary. Ladies and gentlemen, we are embarking upon a great, great time in our nation. I know Donald Trump calls it the golden age. There are many inferences there. Maybe I'll touch on some of them in a future show. But what I see happening, ladies and gentlemen, is us crawling out of the hole of corruption. Some have differing ideas, even those that I follow regularly on either social media or podcasts, interviews, things of that nature. They don't like what Elon Musk is doing, and I understand their questioning of what's going on, but let me use for an example him going in. Jaime. Oh no! Don't say that one. No, Jaime. That was a gaffe on my part. That was a Spanish gaffe at one point. Jody says Cash will burn them to the ground, all of them. Yes, he will. And here's the thing. I think we're going to have a much smaller FBI very soon. I really do. Now, here's something. What I'm telling you about crawling out of this hole that we're in, this uniparty hole, Republicans, Democrats, it's all two wings of the same bird, right? So what the Donald Trump 2.0 is doing is rooting that out. It's uncomfortable for a lot of people. In the Social Security example, we had Elon Musk looking over the Social Security Association department, whatever. And some people were balking at that. Oh, that's sensitive information. You don't think the Chinese already have your Social Security number? Do you really think it's secure? Government employees, and I know that there are a few listening. Government employees, how many times have you received an email or perhaps even a letter personally to your house that says one of the contractors to the government was hacked and they now have your Social Security? Whoever has your Social Security number. In a couple decades career, I'll bet you have 2 or 3. I'll bet you do. I'll bet you do as a government employee. I'll bet you do. So our Social Security number is not safe with the government, even with the government, right? So the fact of the matter is, what Elon Musk is doing is rooting out the evil. He's rooting out the cancer, if you will, right? So at the end of this, he's going into the Pentagon. He's going into all these different places. Jerry, okay, buddy, game time soon. Have a good one. Bye, Sue. Go USA. Old time hockey, Eddie Shore, baby. Yeah, we're gonna be off in a little bit because we want everybody to be able to see that U.S. Canada hockey game. I don't even know what Matt, if you're still on, throw out the network that it's going to be on, please. Yeah, so that's going to be a great game. I won't keep you any longer. I just want to say that if you have any questions or if you're having trouble perhaps defending our position as what a lot of people call me Trumper, I'm a Trumper, whatever. If you believe in the goodness of what's occurring here, and I believe it's not going to end at the United States. I believe that the United States is going to be a beacon, a city on a hill, okay? We are going to be able to show the other nations how it's done. By the time we're done with this, ESPN, okay, thank you. Appreciate it, guys. So what we're going to do is we are going to make America great again. And it can't happen from the top down, ladies and gentlemen. Sure, they're going to do their part with government. But we have to also be in among the non-believers, if you will. So when you're at a family get-together or whatever, and if you sometimes it comes to you, sometimes the conversation just comes out. We have to be polite. Even if the person across from us is yelling at us, we can't respond in kind. I know it's hard. But the fact of the matter is, if you are having some sort of difficulty defending, maybe sourcing out any of the things that I talk about here, or even things that I haven't talked about, and you'd like to know, hey, what's a good source of research, or what's a good place to dig up certain information on this, that, or the other, please send me an email. BitcoinOtter@secure, SEKUR.com. BitcoinOtter@secure.com. I really would love to assist in any way your efforts. Or if you have something for me, like Jody always sends me stuff, just send me Stop Spraying the Skies. Thank you, Barry. Manny, good to see you, Manny. Thank you, Barry. Man, I really hope RFK is going to get on that, RFK Jr. I really, really hope he's going to get on that geoengineering or whatever the hell they're spraying in the skies, right? I guess it's some cobalt, aluminum, and all this crap. So anyway, I'm going to let everybody go a little bit early, but let's make sure we tune in to that hockey game. That's going to be a good one, man. That's going to be a good one. Greatest sport on earth, in my opinion, Let's go USA. I'm going to sign out. I'm going to ask God to bless each and every one of you. I ask God to bless America. May we show the world through your spirit, Lord, how it should be done, how to be a good nation. Because I think it was Francis de Tocqueville once said, after he visited America, he said, America is great because America is good. If it ceases to be good, it will cease to be great. Yeah, Alexis de Tocqueville, I believe, or Francis de Tocqueville said that. And I'll tell you what, Donald Trump is helping us make America great again. Let's pitch in. Thank you very much. Have a great week. And I'll see you again next Thursday on the Bitcoin Otter Show. Thank you.